Well, good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to this live stream where we're going to be talking about what it's like to be an academic at the University of Lincoln. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. My name is Liz Mossop. I'm the Provost and Senior Deputy Vice-Chancellor here at the University of Lincoln, and I've been given the honour and privilege and responsibility, I think, of running today's session. So you'll see me popping up a number of times throughout the session, introducing various different people who we've got coming along to say a little bit about what it's like to work at the university from their own experiences, but also some of the sort of things that we offer you as an employee and a colleague here at the University of Lincoln. So I thought I'd just kick off by saying a little bit, first of all, about the university, but then I thought I'd touch a little bit on why I work at this university and why I think it's a really great place to be as an academic. So I suppose if you were to ask me to describe the University of Lincoln in 2 words, I think the 2 words I'd use would be community and opportunity. So community, I mean, I think that's probably the thing that most people notice about the university. We are not a massive university. We have 17,000 students, so we're a pretty good size, but we're not huge and overwhelming. And we are very much a community within a small city. So it feels like a nice place to be. People in Lincolnshire and in Lincoln are very, very friendly, very welcoming. And the university culture is very much aligned to that. So, you know, we're all here to help each other out. We're all here to support each other, and certainly that's something that both our students and our staff comment on a lot. It's about this sort of feeling of community. And the other thing I would say is opportunity. We are a university of opportunity, both for our students, but also, of course, for our colleagues. And I think, you know, our sort of large widening participation remit for our students means that they come often not having had the best education experience so far. And, you know, there is nothing more rewarding as an academic as seeing those students flourish with the opportunities that we're able to offer them here. And I think the same, you know, often goes for staff. Sometimes staff come to us having been elsewhere and perhaps been a little bit despondent with the higher education system for various reasons, or just not enjoyed where they've been before. And actually, this is a place where we really, you know, help support people, help them achieve their ambitions, and give them the sort of opportunities that will help them to flourish and, you know, in the future go off and work somewhere else even. So, you know, we really do feel that's an important part of our institution. So just a little bit more about the university. We are a modern civic institution. We're very well linked in the city and in our region. So lots of the work we do links to the city and the county of Lincolnshire, which of course is a very large county, which brings its own challenges with its rural location. It's a great place to live. Lincoln is a lovely city. It's a great place to bring up a family, but equally it's a great place to be, just, you know, in a nice city environment. And of course, just outside the city, there's lots of nice places to live as well. So there's lots of different options there. The university itself has had a real period of growth over the last 10 years. So we've gone from, you know, really relatively small student numbers and relatively limited numbers of different types of discipline and schools, and now we are, you know, huge and flourishing from the point of view of different disciplines that we offer. So obviously College of Arts, lots of different performing arts, but also other arts subjects and humanities as well, but also a huge increase in our STEM subjects, so over the last sort of 10 years. So we now of course have a School of Medicine, but also in our College of Science lots of other science subjects as well, like computing and engineering. And of course we have our agri-tech and fruit picking robots, for which we're very well known as well. And then of course our other 2 colleges, so our International Business School, which is growing all the time, and also our College of Social Science, which includes areas such as education, health and social care, psychology and areas like that. So lots of different subjects in the mix, and that's what's contributed to our growth. And of course we've also grown from the point of view of our research as well. We were really proud of our REF performance last time around. That's something we're obviously working on over the next few years. I was going to say days, but I think it's a bit ambitious. Next few years. Andrew's going to tell us about that in a moment. And you know, there are lots of opportunities for upcoming researchers in this environment of the University of Lincoln. So as I said at the start, community and opportunity would be the 2 main words I'd use, but there's lots of other words that I'm sure my colleagues will be using as they come onto the call shortly. Just a little word about me and how I've ended up at the University of Lincoln. I came to academia a little bit later in my career. I'm a vet by background. And why did I come to Lincoln? Well, it was about opportunity for me. I came as DVC almost 5 years ago now. So, you know, I really just felt it would be the kind of place that I could push myself, really challenge myself to do a job that I hadn't done before, but also to work, in an environment where I knew I would get the support and the encouragement that I needed in order to succeed. So that's what sort of attracted me about Lincoln, the opportunities that it brought for me. And, it's a great place to work. We have fantastic colleagues, both in our academic colleagues, but also, of course, really importantly, our professional service colleagues as well, who do such a great job. And of course, for me, it's actually all about our students. They are fantastic, inspiring, and really make this a place that we want to be. So I think that's probably enough from me now. Hopefully that's given you a little bit of an overview of the university and of what it's like to be here. But I'm going to pass on now shortly to our first guest speaker of the session. So I'd like to introduce you to Professor Andrew Hunter, who is one of my colleagues in the senior leadership team. And Andrew is Deputy Vice-Chancellor with responsibility for our research portfolio. So Andrew, over to you to tell us all about research at the University of Lincoln.
Liz, thank you very much. So good morning, everybody. Really nice to talk to you this morning. I'm Professor Andrew Hunter, as Liz said, DVC for Research and Innovation. So actually I oversee research and knowledge exchange. I've been at the university since 2004. My background, I'm a computer scientist. I work in artificial intelligence and computer vision, in particular applied to medical imaging and surveillance. And in my time here, I've been a professor, head of School of Computer Science, Dean of Research, head of the College of Science, and now my current role. Broadly, my current role is about the university's research strategy and its implementation. We approved a new strategy last year. All my time at Lincoln, we've been a place that's improving and growing and going ahead. So our current 5-year strategy, broadly speaking, is to reach the top 50 in the country for research, and then we'll just keep going up from there, really. So it's all about growth, it's all about change, and it's all about progress and the ambition that underlies that. In terms of our research culture and how we work and all of that, not everybody needs to do everything, and we have a very broad range of things we want to do. So we have colleagues who are research active. We have colleagues who focus on scholarship and professional practice, but all our academic staff focus on teaching and learning and looking after our students. Balance roughly 40-60 between research active and professionally focused staff. It's probably going to shift over the next period to more like 60-40. But knowledge exchange is something that colleagues in both role profiles are involved in, and we integrate those activities. We really believe in the importance of focus in research. So we think that we don't have to do everything in the world of research, but we need to be internationally excellent in the things that we do. And focus is a big part of that. So we look for things to take on in our research centres and institutes. We do believe absolutely in academic freedom. So as an academic researcher, it is for you to decide where you take your research, and we recognise that the focal areas of future come out of the new ideas of people today. But we do encourage and cultivate some thematic approaches to research. So a lot of our staff work in co-creation. So they work with external stakeholders who define and address the research issues with them. We do a lot of challenge-based research. So there is an end goal of what we're trying to achieve through the research, and a lot of impactful research. We have a very long-standing principle we call local to global. So where it's appropriate, it isn't always, but where it's appropriate, we try to find research issues to address that have local importance but global significance. So a great example is agri-food. Food security is a big thing for the entire world. There's a really big set of issues there, but of course it's very relevant to where we are in rural Lincolnshire, and we've become very well known for that approach. So we end up doing a lot of collaborative research, a lot of interdisciplinary research, and a lot of our research has a strong theme of knowledge exchange, either complementing it or working with it, and that involves staff from across our different role profiles and interest groups. Pretty much, we do research in all of our disciplines, although the nature of disciplines means some are more research intensive than other, and that's entirely appropriate. We have around about 400 internationally excellent researchers at the minute, so I'm going to struggle to survey it all in the time available. But if I were to pick up some highlights, Liz mentioned our performance in the last REF, where we made a very significant improvement in our previous standing. Our historians were rated #1 for the quality of research outputs in the country, which is an incredible achievement. And social policy, they were rated #3 for research output quality. Over in computer science, they were rated #9 for research impact, which I think reflected the really exciting work they do in conjunction with the Lincoln Institute for Agri-Food Technology in agri-robotics in particular. And we've only been doing that for 5 years. It's had a huge impact. So my conclusion, I think this really reflects some of the things that Liz was saying. This is an ambitious institution. We are trying to get ahead, and it's quite dynamic, but it's also very collegiate. People do get along and work together, and there's a lot of cross-disciplinary work. I've been here a long time, as I alluded earlier. I very often see people that I've interviewed around about the campus, and I'll invariably go up and ask them, so, been here 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, whatever, what's your impression of the university? And the one thing I hear most often is it's really friendly. It's a friendly place to work. So thank you for listening. I'll be very happy to take any questions or comments. If you want to ask a question, please do pop them into the chat, and you're welcome, Liz.
Thank you, Andrew. I think that was a really great summary, and I think you're right. These themes are going to come out over and over, aren't they, about opportunity and also the friendliness and collegiate nature of the campus and what we do. And of course, we mustn't forget that we don't just have our campus in Lincoln, we also have our 2 campuses, one in Riseholme, just outside Lincoln, where our robots live, and one in Holbeach as well, where a lot of our food technology goes on as well. So we've got some listeners viewers, I think is the right word, from around the country, which is great. You're very welcome. And if you have any specific questions about research, then we'd love to hear them. Hannah, who is a final year PhD student in agriculture, that's great. Lots of opportunities in our agri-tech area, so I'm not sure if that aligns with what you're doing, but be happy to have a chat about that. If not, then I think we will pass on to our next speaker. So thank you very much, Andrew. That was an excellent summary. And we're going to move now from research onto the teaching side of things, and specifically think about academic development. I think I mentioned at the beginning how important opportunity is for us as a university, and we really do believe in developing our people and supporting you to do what you need to do, particularly, of course, when it comes to your academic career and the way you teach students and the way you do research. So I'm going to introduce you to Kate Strudwick, who is my excellent colleague in the Lincoln Academy of Learning and Teaching. She's our Dean of Teaching and Learning here at the University of Lincoln. And Kate's going to tell us a little bit more about what you do here at the university, Kate, but also about opportunities for academic development. So over to you, Kate.
Thanks, Liz. Yes, so welcome everybody. I'll just talk through academic development and some of the pathways we offer for staff development here at the university. So as Liz says, I'm Kate Strudwick. I'm the Dean of Teaching and Learning. I've been at the university since 1998, so I joined as a lecturer in criminology in the School of Social and Political Sciences many years ago. And I think I'm a real exemplar maybe of what Liz was talking about the university being one of opportunity. Because during my time in that school, I took on various leadership roles with regards to developing initiatives for teaching and learning and also student engagement. And then over the years, have now kind of brought them to my role leading Lincoln Academy of Learning and Teaching, or LOUT as we call it. So just a little bit about LOUT. So LOUT is a community of practice which is there to provide strategic direction and support and guidance, in effect the sharing of best practice of teaching, learning, and also developing collaboration across the university. We work very closely in Lout with academic teams, and we also work in partnership with the student union to develop initiatives regarding student engagement and student as producer. So it's really important that we share a lot of the good practice that happens here at Lincoln through forums with all members of staff and opportunities to really showcase some of these exemplars for others to think about for their own practice as well. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the 5-stage plan we have in Lout to develop academic development. We work firstly what we would call academic induction, which dovetails really nicely with the Lincoln Welcome that all new starters will go through, which kind of acclimatizes them to all of the aspects that they will need to know as they come to work here at Lincoln. And so they get to meet key colleagues and also get the guidance and relevant literature and resources, which they may need to know about processes, etc., for their role. And so what we provided in Lout is, as I said, is the first stage for all new starters. And it's a mandatory induction program, which is kind of developed as a short conference, but we focus primarily on teaching and learning. And so we're looking at providing sessions, which will be looking at the Lincoln Way and how we do it here, also addressing opportunities for co-creation and engaging students, looking at sessions on employability and how to embed it within the curriculum, also addressing quality assurance, personal tutoring, and the training and support we provide here for students. How new starters can think about bringing in digital as an enhancer into their teaching and learning, and also getting them to make that initial start thinking about their own development, and so CPD that's available. And so that's a kind of package that we have, and it is about just providing information on the structures that are here for Lincoln in terms of teaching and learning and the support that's there, as Liz has already alluded to. We also have the next stage, which is the academic professional apprenticeship, which is organised by Lout, or APA, as we would call it. This is a programme which is at level 7. And what it is, it's one where we would talk to heads of school, and it's a programme whereby those that come into teaching are provided the opportunity to take part in this 22-month length programme, whereby they would take the practice they're getting from working within the classroom and what they're providing with regards to teaching and learning. And also they would get the, as we call it, on-the-job training, and time out of that, by which they will get teacher training from Lout. There's 3 elements to it, really. There's the induction programme, then there's practical period, and then what we would call endpoint assessment. And so it's really important because it means academics would be 4 days a week doing teaching and learning within the classroom with their students, and then they become an apprentice themselves, and so they become the student, and they really learn through some of the brilliant guidance that we can offer them in terms of our teaching for 1 day a week as well. Those that aren't applicable for the APA are able to join another route for academic development, which is PGCHE, PG Cert. We only brought this on board last year, so it's a new program here at Lincoln, but it's really good because it's shorter. It's a 60 credit program. The program currently takes 12 months, and it provides, again, guidance and support and teaching for those that are new to teaching and have come into their role here as an academic member of staff. And we also provide opportunities for professional service staff that teach as well on that. So this is through 2 modules, one which is focusing on really learning best practice and innovative and creative teaching and principles on teaching and learning approaches, and the second one focuses on assessment and evaluation. So that's the third stage. The fourth stage is we provide support through the Higher Education Academy Recognition Scheme, so here, which you may know about. So this was developed, I think, from 2019 here at Lincoln, but it's a really good opportunity because it's not an internal programme by which we enable and we support and we provide mentoring for all of those that want to apply for either D1, which is the kind of starting point as associate fellow, up to D4, which is principal fellow. And so we provide guidance and through training sessions, through lots of resources and handbooks and a kind of hub, which is on our internal services for academics to work through this and also get that recognition as well. And the final level is university and national recognition. So this is where in LOUT we would support students for that recognition really at that highest level, whereby they're going, they're sort of headlining their successes. And so we would provide mentoring and support for National Teaching Fellows and also CATE Awards as well. We also provide Teaching Excellence Awards, which are internal. And so at all levels, we're trying to provide that recognition and that acknowledgement of the great work that's being done, sharing it out so everyone can develop that in their own practice and also be there as the first point of contact for CPD and academic development for all members of staff. And so as Andrew said, I'm more than happy to answer any questions if any have come in. And if not, I'm more than happy to talk about them later as well. I'm just looking at some of the questions here.
Thanks, Kate. I think the main questions at the moment have been about opportunities and how people know about them. And as we've answered in the chat, I think, obviously it's always tricky if not the right opportunity isn't advertised for you, but it is always worth dropping a line to a head of school or even a contact in the school if you know somebody. You can find head of school names obviously on our website, and just introducing yourself, letting us know what you might offer, and having a bit of a conversation that way. I think we're the kind of institution that would always welcome those kind of approaches because we don't know what we haven't got until we're told about it. So I think that's a really important point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kate, thank you for telling us about the different programs and the support that LOUT offers. I think that's a really important part of how we support and develop our academic colleagues here. And I know we've had lots of examples of success stories where people have started off just doing their HEA or whatever it is, and then eventually they end up with a national teaching fellowship, which is absolutely incredible and just fantastic to see people progressing, particularly people who are progressing on that very teaching focused pathway, which we have obviously at Lincoln. We have a research and teaching pathway as Andrew mentioned, but we also do reward really great teachers who are doing scholarship of teaching and learning alongside their actual practice, and equally for professional practitioners as well who are doing lots of teaching. So I think we're lucky that we've got this sort of different opportunities for people to take advantage of.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Kate. That was brilliant, as ever. And I'm going to pass on now. We're going to hear a little bit from some colleagues in our PPC team. So that's what we call HR in the University of Lincoln, so people, performance and culture. So I'm passing over now to Claire Kennedy. Claire is, as it says on the screen there, our head of payroll services. I'm sure she'll explain in a minute what that means. That's one of those job titles that goes way over my head, I'm afraid, Claire, but you do very important work to make sure we all get paid, which is important. So I'll pass over to you now, and you're going to tell us a little bit about benefits and rewards and that kind of thing at the university.
Lovely. Thanks, Liz. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining today. So my name's Claire Kennedy. I'm the Head of Payroll Services and Acting Deputy Head of Reward. A little bit about myself. So I joined the university in 2005 and I've progressed through the Payroll Services team into the current role that I'm in. I manage a team of 4 and our main priorities are customer service, support and education through the activities we undertake. So we look after our colleagues with their pay, their pensions, expenses, relocation payments, benefits, leave bookings, and our reward mechanisms that we have at the university. For me, the University of Lincoln is an absolutely great place to work. It's in a beautiful city and it's constantly evolving and has a great vision and ambition for the future. So as Liz said, I'm here today to talk to you all about our benefits offerings. So here at the university, we support our colleagues with all aspects of their wellbeing by offering reward and benefits that support you as an individual as well as your family. We see colleagues at the University of Lincoln as individuals, not just employees. So we offer a different array of benefits to enrich your life and engage you with particular needs during your time with us. Our community is key to the way that we work, engage and support each other through a range of activities such as wellbeing days, social events, volunteering days and environmental activities. We offer a number of ways to support you financially through our Making Your Money Go Further campaign. Through this, we offer several ways to spread the cost of your everyday living and those extra costs found with moving employers. So under our lifestyle support, we support offerings such as our Spree card, which is a cashback debit card to receive cashback on your everyday shopping in high street retailers and supermarkets. We have our lifestyle platform, which offers thousands of high street discounts with significant money back on everyday purchases. We have our salary sacrifice scheme, which is now up to £2,000 to enable staff to purchase electric bikes, which is spread out over 24 months. And that also provides you with tax and national insurance savings. We also provide other benefits such as our car lease scheme, which again is salary sacrifice, providing those additional savings. We try and offer lots of benefits to spread out the cost through the payroll as a vehicle. So our core benefits, so we have a minimum of 35 days annual leave, plus concessionary and bank holidays for a full-time post. We have a variety of pension and savings options depending on your role at the university to ensure that you're setting yourself up for your future goals and plans. We have pay increases on a salary scale on an annual basis, and we have a generous sick pay entitlement from day one. It's contractual enrolment into the teacher's pension scheme from day one, and there are scheme flexibilities such as additional voluntary contributions and purchasing additional pension, which are all underpinned by our award-winning financial education sessions, which are aimed to provide colleagues with the knowledge to make financial decisions to plan for your future. Our wellbeing offering, so our programme of health and wellbeing benefits, are underpinned by a focus on education and to support your wellbeing proactively. We've got wonderful facilities and modern buildings and technology to allow you to thrive in your role, with on-site sports facilities and programmes and support for your physical and mental wellbeing through a range of our initiatives. And just lastly, our reward offering. So we recognise colleagues' contributions through your role by celebrating excellent performance and highlighting excellence to colleagues as something we celebrate. We host an annual recognition event for exceptional contributions and specialist teaching excellence awards with honours at our graduation ceremonies. So I hope that's given you a bite-sized taster of some of the benefits that we offer here at the University of Lincoln. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Claire. Just really helpful to hear the range of things that we can offer our colleagues here at the university, and hopefully people have got a little bit more of an understanding. Presumably if they want to know a bit more, it would all be on our website?
It certainly is, yeah, under the pay section on our website, yeah, or they can contact me directly if anybody needs any further information. More than happy to help.
Great, thank you very much, Claire, that's super.
Lovely. Thank you.
So we're going to move on now to Natasha McLaren, who is going to be talking to us about relocation and immigration. Obviously, we are increasingly an international community of colleagues here at the University of Lincoln, and that is Natasha's expertise, as well as anyone else who is moving from afar and needs some support with that. I remember how useful I found that when I moved to the university. So Natasha, over to you to tell us a little bit more.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Natasha McLaren. As Liz has said, I'm head of mobility and pensions at the university. The mobility team is a fairly small team, and I work with our immigrations and visa manager to support staff with their move to the university, whether that's from overseas or within the UK. I've worked at the university for over 20 years now, and I've had a variety of roles here. And as other colleagues have said, I would echo that it's a great place to work. I love what our multicultural workforce that we have that really enriches the community here. I'm passionate about helping people settle and becoming part of the community, and I've made some really lovely friends along the way. So in terms of immigrations and visas, as I mentioned, Carly Gilliatt is our expert, but I'll cover this in the talk. So, as you may be aware, the UK introduced a points-based immigration system in 2021 with a variety of different work visa routes. And we've supported many individuals through that system. And obviously, depending on your circumstances, we may be able to sponsor you for a skilled worker visa or provide a statement of guarantee for a global talent visa. However, we always encourage individuals to check eligibility criteria, as there are many nuances. We've got lots of information on typical routes, as well as the costs and other considerations on our portal pages. Although you will need to refer to the government website on work visas. We're aware there is a lot to navigate, and whilst we're not able to provide specific advice, we can certainly support and signpost as much as we can. In terms of relocation, once you're ready and starting to plan your relocation, we can help with information on the local area, on accommodation, renting, travel arrangements, as well as things like providing references to landlords, help with opening bank accounts, which sometimes can be quite difficult to coordinate because you need an address to open a bank account, and you might not have an address until you've completed the right to rent process. I also work with a company called Relocation Support Services. So if you wish, they can organise as much or as little of the move for you. RSS provide a home search service where for a fee they can, and obviously depending on your circumstances, they can find a selection of properties and arrange for you to be accompanied on viewings. They can advise on tenancy agreements, sort out utilities and Wi-Fi, sort of provide that settling in service. They can also help with finding schools, registering with a GP, organising shipping, removals, flights, whatever you want. And we can put you in touch with them to discuss their services and charges, although there's no obligation, but it can be a great help. If you decide you want to organise things yourself, then we can obviously signpost and provide information. In terms of accommodation, I would mention that in Lincoln, as it is across the whole of the UK, accommodation can be difficult to come by. There's a shortage of good rental properties, and even more so of furnished flats within walking distance of the university. Unfortunately, the university doesn't have any accommodation that's available for staff. It's only licensed for students. So if you're intending to relocate, I would recommend starting the process early, familiarise yourself with the different areas of the city, the types of properties that are available, as well as the price of rent. You might find more availability outside of the city centre. However, there are lots of lovely places to live. It's a wonderful corner of the country with some beautiful countryside and market towns to explore. In terms of financial support, we have a visa support and loan scheme. So we can provide support depending on eligibility to help you with the cost of your individual visa. We can also provide you with an interest-free loan to assist with the cost of family visa applications, your immigration health surcharge, assuming you're coming from overseas, and also with visa renewals, which you can pay back via payroll over a period of time. Again, subject to eligibility, you might have the benefit of a relocation allowance, which you can use to claim for the costs that you incur as part of your relocation. So depending on your circumstances, this might not cover everything, but you can claim for things like flights, other travel, shipping, temporary accommodation. And again, we can provide an advance on those monies if need be. We provide lots of other benefits as part of your employment, as Claire has touched on, and we also have lots of networks and groups to help you make friends and socialise. There's an international staff network which organises regular meetings and events, as well as various clubs, societies, and lots to explore in this historic city and region. Hopefully that reassures you of the support and information that's available. A lot of it we've got all on our immigration and relocation pages on our portal, which are available for you to view. If you have any questions, please let me know or get in contact at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natasha. That was a great summary of all the different things we can do to support people moving to the university. And my apologies, there's a bit of a crackle on your line, so I hope that didn't disrupt people's listening too much. Sorry about that, everybody. Thank you so much. I can't see any specific comments about on your topic in the chat, but I'm sure, as you say, people are welcome to email or drop comments later, and we'll make sure they are answered for them. But thank you very much, Natasha. That was really helpful. So I'm delighted to say we're now going to finish the session with two of my colleagues here at the university who are academics, and we thought it would be great to actually hear from them directly about their experiences of working at the University of Lincoln. So first up we have Paul Bates, and Paul is a senior lecturer in nursing, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his job here at Lincoln and how he's found the university. Over to you, Paul. Welcome.
Thanks, Liz. Welcome to the best job I've ever had in my life. It really is. Every day is a different day coming here, and I think the variety is the spice of life. So my background is an A&E nurse, walking centres, urgent care across the East Midlands of England. And about 6 years ago, I took a step into academia, started doing a little bit of guest lecturing first, and then got the feel for it, and the job came up, really. And the beauty of my academic career is, as I say, the variety, whether that is teaching in small groups, teaching seminars, doing big lectures, planning lessons, planning modules, getting involved in research. I still have opportunities to do clinical practice, so a couple of shifts a month I will go out and work in local GP surgeries. That keeps the links up between the university and the healthcare trusts, and it also gives, well, credibility really for what I teach. There is also opportunities to manage as well, so managing the modules, managing the team that support me on such a large program. Every day is different, hour to hour is different, and there is really the autonomy to be able to take your career into wherever you want to go. So I'm very much a clinician, a hands-on clinician, and I very much teach that and look into that. But you know, if research was really the big thing I wanted, then I could form my career that way. So you find what you're interested in, and as an academic, the bits that really grab your attention and that you're best at, and you're encouraged to forge your own way that way. So that's the sort of general teaching style in a very quick nutshell. But there's also the pastoral side as well, the student body themselves. And working here in the School of Health and Social Care, every academic has a personal tutor group. And this is, I always say, is a bit of a father figure for either 30, 60 undergraduate students who you can be there to help and support and nourish. I see very much my job now as nursing by proxy. So if I can instill a bit of encouragement into all these students and make them reach their potential, then I'm nursing on a much bigger background. So mentoring personal students, having one-to-ones, offering them academic support as well, and watching them grow is very encouraging. I'm also heavily involved with marketing as well, so there's that many different branches, and it keeps the variety coming. Now, I'm not from Lincolnshire. I'm from the northeast of England, so I'm not biased towards this area, but it certainly got my heart. I've lived down here in Lincoln now for about 10 years, and it's a stunning county, really. One side of it, you've got these flat farmlands with this massive big sky, and the other side, you've got the rolling hills of the Walls, and then the beautiful sunny coast of golden sandy beaches. And the beaches offer you whatever you want, whether you want a small secluded beach or a big beach of Skeg Vegas. So we've got the beauty of the area, and we've got the nice size city. The city itself is not huge, it's not too small. You've got the old Roman style at the top and the more modern bit down the bottom. The university itself is like that. Although we haven't necessarily got the old bit of the university, it's very modern, but again, it's the nice size. Not too big, not too little. Nice and compact, where you're never much more than 5 or 10 minutes away from where you want to teach from your base. And then to top all of that, you've got the beautiful graduation at the end of the year. We graduate, all the students graduate up at the top of the hill in the cathedral, which sticks out over the whole city, and you get on a sunny, starry night, get to do graduation up there. Basically, it's the variety of the job and the autonomy of the job that I love the most. And the size of it, you get to know the students really well, because it's not so big, but it's big enough to keep the students interested. Gives you autonomy, and as a county, it's just the same as well. It's just that nice size. Don't know what else to say. I think I'll pass over to you again, Liz, now. We're open up to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and you're making it sound like we live in Australia. But I completely agree. I think it's Lincolnshire is a very underrated county, isn't
Maybe
it?
I did use the word sunny a little bit too much for the UK, but there is. I don't think you can express enough those golden sandy beaches on that east coast.
Oh, it's
Where
beautiful.
you can go from having, from the tiny little secluded ones, and there's like almost a stepwise size of them, and that you just you can't.
No, it's a great place. It's a great place to be, isn't it? And you need to watch out, because I started off as a clinician focusing on teaching as well, and all of a sudden your career just kind of goes in a direction you're not expecting. So we'll have our eye on you soon, Paul.
We'll see.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, and I think variety is absolutely what this is all about. That's the joy of being an academic, isn't it? It's a great job to have, but we try and definitely facilitate that here at Lincoln. So good to hear that you're taking full advantage. Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate your time. So Paul is going to leave us now, and we're going to be joined by another of my academic colleagues. So we're next going to be joined by Hilary Duckett, and Hilary is an associate professor in leadership in our business school. So Hilary, a very warm welcome to you. And similar to Paul, I mean, you can talk about the beaches if you like, but you may wish to pick another thing to focus on. Please, would you tell us a little bit about your experiences of being an academic here at the University of Lincoln?
Yeah, thanks, Liz, and thanks to all the other speakers. Paul's sort of introduction to Lincoln was fantastic, because I've only lived here since 2020, and I moved up from the southwest. Actually, it's also got its fair share of beaches, but I would totally agree with Paul. Up here, there's a lot of secluded beaches. They're much less populated, and the actual, Lincoln itself is an amazing city. It's got a waterfront setting, beautiful river, lots of restaurants and things to do along the riverfront. It's a really, really interesting and fun place to be. But in terms of what I do, I work at the Lincoln International Business School, and we are quite a large college. We've got a lot of students, and we work with a lot of international students too. So it's a very diverse college to be part of. I work alongside colleagues from all around the world, and students drawn from all around the world as well, particularly at postgraduate level. So I think, as Paul said, no 2 days are ever the same. Yes, you've got your modules. So, I might teach a module over 12 weeks. I might teach a double module over 24 weeks. But you've got a lot of autonomy, really, to create the program that you want to deliver. And I think that's one of the things that I've really loved ever since I've been at Lincoln, that encouragement really from colleagues, from your departmental heads, to really experiment and to try things. That's been fun, and I've really enjoyed that ever since I've been here. So I teach undergraduate students, and I also teach postgraduate and doctoral students as well. I'm the director of the Doctorate of Business Administration program. And so we're working with a huge number of academic staff working on that program, supervising, and also students, candidates that are studying and researching very interesting practice-based issues around leadership, management, supply chain, and all kinds of other things. So the doctorate program is really fun to do. And that was something I was involved in right from the start. So I think that's the other thing I'd like to say is that, if you want to create something here, it's very open. People are very open and encouraging of new portfolio development as well. So if you've got a specialism or a particular interest, you can make it your own by building a program really around it. I'm also really lucky that, I've got the space and the time and the encouragement to get involved in quite a wide number of research projects too. I worked with a team of colleagues to bring the Help to Grow program here to the Lincoln International Business School. So on that, we work with small to medium-sized enterprises where they're developing a growth plan. So we deliver them a program of learning and work with them on face-to-face and online workshops to make all that happen. And that was funded by the government, the Business Innovation and Industrial Skills funding, BASE funding. I was lucky enough to be part of a team, and we won a management knowledge transfer partnership, which was about co-creating knowledge and innovating with a local enterprise. So that business is all around transformation of leadership and leadership structures within that business. And we got UK RI funding for that. And my role in that is to work with the MKTP associate, who's doctorally qualified herself. She's based in the company. I add in my educational expertise, my academic expertise, and work with her and the management team on building this transformational leadership framework. So that's been a brilliant program to be involved in too. Other things I'm involved in, the British Council program in Nigeria, where we're working to bring more women into higher education leadership roles in Nigerian universities. I'm live streaming a webinar a bit later on today, and I did one last week. Again, that's British Council funding, and that's something we bid for and successfully won. And involved in a program with the University of Philippines as well, working with a team of colleagues here at the university to deliver programs and workshops, again, to bring in more female entrepreneurs into the Philippine system. And so that's a kind of multi-university collaboration. So I guess really my experience of working here has been that, there are opportunities really to grow and to create things, to be innovative, to bring in new things, to bring in ideas. And the university's reputation is such that, it's possible to bid for research grants. And, there seems to be the kind of confidence amongst the funders to put the money into academic staff here, because we've got a good track record, and we've got a growing track record too in research grants and funding. So there's huge amounts of opportunity here. So not only, as Paul said, to work on the practice-based side, you can work on the practice-based side with a research twist as well, which is where I fit. The other thing I'd like to add in is that since I came to the university 2.5 years ago, I applied for promotion from senior lecturer to associate professor, and was really lucky that promotion was successful. I had the confidence of my head of department, and also the backing of the university panel to sort of to enable that promotion. So it's possible as well when you get here. If you demonstrate a commitment to things, if you demonstrate deliverables on certain areas, to achieve promotion as well. So the university is very open, I think, to recognising and rewarding people's contributions throughout. Perhaps the other thing, just to sort of add in to Paul there, the teaching. We teach across generally 2 semesters, but we also have a 3rd semester in the Lincoln International Business School. So we have some summer teaching, but generally the timetable is worked so that you only work 2 semesters. So for some people, actually working in the sort of June, July period suits them. For others, maybe not. but you're enabled to develop your own kind of approach to the timetable, really working with your resourcing team to work out what works better in terms of your teaching load. There's loads of really interesting colleagues here that are very keen to work collaboratively and keen to identify research opportunities to get involved with, which is great. But I think also the students here are amazing. The undergraduate staff and the undergraduate students, and also our postgraduate students, are very committed. There's great sort of vibe and energy within the classroom too, which is great. Students are always willing to participate and to get involved. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions. I can't really see anything at the moment in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have about their experience and an interest that they've got in moving here to Lincoln.
Thanks, Hilary. Your cat's just made a little appearance across the back of the screen.
She often
does that. I opened the door, I noticed, to let him or herself out. So obviously very, very intelligent cat. Thank you so much. I was really interested in particular to hear about your fantastic international links. I mean, we might be located in an area that people don't know much about, but it's absolutely true that lots of us do work all around the world, really. So it sounds like you've got some amazing projects going on there.
Yeah, I do. And it's really exciting. It's really interesting to do. And also leads to research outputs as well.
Absolutely.
So it leads on to publications and conference attendance and things like that. So it's good. It's good for me, but it's obviously brilliant for the college and the university reputationally, the work that we're involved in too. So it's a win-win, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back to what Andrew was talking about earlier on when he talked about local to global. We definitely have that approach to things, and it's fantastic when it works that way. Really, and I find as an academic, it just really keeps my interest, because I'm off. I might be thinking about the same area or the same question, but in a different context internationally, and it really does sort of keep you grounded and really keep you engaged with what you're thinking about. So yeah, really good to hear. Thank you so much, Hilary. I think that's the end of your segment, and that also brings us to the end of today's session. So I'd just like to say a really big thank you to everybody who's listening now or who's listened on catch up later on. I hope that the session's been useful. We do just have, I think, one question in the chat, and I think Natasha was going to just come in and answer the question about visas. Natasha, over to you.
Hi there. Yes, thank you, Liz. Mohammed had a question about support from if you're switching from a different university, support with visas. We'd encourage you to get in touch, and if you want to do that before you apply, we're quite happy to speak to you, because it really does depend on individual circumstances and situations. But absolutely, in principle, we can support you with either the global talent route or the skilled worker route, and we just have to work out the best way of doing that. So please do get in touch.
Great, thank you very much, Natasha. That's really helpful. And as ever, if people have questions about any aspect of what we've talked about today, then please don't hesitate to reach out. There's always things that people think about afterwards, and there's lots of information on our website, which you should be able to see moving across the bottom of the screen now. So lncn.ac/career, but also on the HR sections of our website, you'll find lots of information about working here, and also, of course, about the jobs that we've got available at the moment. As we heard earlier on, it's always worth, if you're interested and there's not the right job up there at the moment, it's always worth just dropping somebody related to your area a message, just to find out if there are any future opportunities in the pipeline that we can tell you about early on. So thank you all very much. I think that's the end of the session, and I hope that in the future we'll be welcoming some more of you to become our colleagues here at the University of Lincoln. Thanks again. Bye-bye.